But before we dive into that, let me describe a little bit about what shamanism is, because a lot of people might have heard the term, but they're not quite sure what it is. But basically, in my experience, shamanism is three things. It's a form of culture, and people would argue that it's the oldest form of culture. That you go back, 10,000, 15, 20,000 years ago, and people all over the world have sort of the same experience, that the world is full of spirit, that we're not alone in this, that we're surrounded by a level of intelligence, a level of compassion, a level of wisdom that we're all a part of. And so because of that experience and that understanding, these are cultures that have developed methods of connecting with spirit helpers, spirit teachers, for information, for healing, for wisdom, for direction. So it's a culture, it's a set of methods for connecting with spirit, and then the last thing that, out of those methods comes a very sophisticated form of mind, body, spirit healing. And these are so-called primitive cultures, what we would describe as primitive. And all primitive really means from an anthropological standpoint is they're not technological. Doesn't mean they're stupid. Their brains are just as big as ours, and they were facing the same problems. How to stay healthy. What's the meaning of life? What do you do when you die? How do you navigate your life? And so I think what they actually developed, since they couldn't, rely on technology and machinery, was they were able to develop some of the most sophisticated ways of using our mind and our spirit to solve problems, to get clarity, to heal. So that's sort of the background of what we're going to be doing today. That's the tradition we're working in, is these methods and techniques that have been developed all over the world, from the Arctic to the tropics, from sea level to 16, 17,000 feet up in the mountains. People all over the world have learned how to connect with spirit helpers. And that is really the most powerful thing you're going to do today. I mean, initially you're going to, you've come here with a topic, an issue, a concern, and you're going to engage with, finding that problem, whether it's money or love or career or something very unique to you, and healing it. And that's going to be a good thing. But the real lasting benefit, I think, is in connecting with spirit and being able to realize and have this experience. It's not an idea, it's not a faith, that we're not alone. And there's this amazing level of help and power, available to anybody who wants to ask for it and reach out for it. So that's really the gist. But in terms of the specific